Hello everyone and welcome to my Game Week 9 score predictions of the 2022/23 EFL Championship season. We've got another 12 games to predict, so let's just get straight into it with the first one kicking off on the Friday night, Burnley against Norwich City, where Norwich City climbing that table after that little bit of a horrible start by them, but they've got 5 wins on the trot now, but coming up against the Burnley side, who, haven't had the greatest of starts. I mean, in their last game, they picked up a 1-1 draw against West Bromwich Albion. They did very well to come away with just a point, to be honest, because West Brom should have won that game. But if it wasn't for the late equaliser, Burnley would have won all 3. So all strange in the Championship, but in this one, I'm going to back Burnley to actually pick up a win here. I think Norwich's run is going to end here at Turf Moor. I'm going to go for a 2-1. Burnley need a win. They need to climb up a bit higher. Too many draws in there, I think, and at home the fans will get behind them. And I think the game's going to go to Burnley here. So yeah, all 3 points to Burnley in this one, and then. Next up is Birmingham City against Swansea City. Both sides, pretty much down at the bottom. Birmingham City did pick up a victory over Preston North End in their last game, a narrow 1-0 victory for Birmingham. And our clean sheet run ended. But we'll talk about Preston when they come up in a moment's time. But no, Birmingham City. Yeah, they did well. They did well to break our defence, seeing that our defence has been so stubborn so far all this season. You've got to give credit to Birmingham for finding a way through it. And also against Swansea City, they haven't had the greatest of starts, although they did beat Queen's Park Rangers 1-0 in their last game as well. So two sides maybe, looking to build on their victories that they picked up last week and start a run going. I'm going to say the victory is going to go to Swansea City here. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Swans. This game did end in a 0-0 draw last time these two sides faced each other last season. So, we'll have to wait and see with this one. I'm going to back the Swans to pick up all 3 points in away from home in this one. And then next up is Blackpool against Middlesbrough. Blackpool, in their last game, beat Huddersfield Town 1-0. Very, very lucky, because that should have ended in a 1-1 draw. Huddersfield Town had the ball in the back of the net, and for some reason, the linesman, the referee, goal line technology just didn't see it, and we can clearly see that ball across the line now. See if I can find a picture up and put it up on the screen somewhere. But Blackpool very lucky. Should have been a 1-1 draw, that one. Middlesbrough did pick up a victory, another victory as well. 1-0 victory over Sunderland, narrow 1-0 victory. Maybe Middlesbrough can start climbing up the table against Blackpool at home. It'll always be a tricky game. There's always tricky games in the Championship, but I think both sides will score. But I'm going to back Middlesbrough to pick up all 3 points in this one. And then we move over now to Bristol City against Preston North End, where Bristol City have had a really good start to the season. They're currently in 4th place. Preston North End picked up their first defeat of the season, also conceded their first goal of the season last week against Birmingham City. So in this one, it'll be very tight, but I think we're going to go back to our old ways in this one, and I'm going to go for another boring 0-0 draw in this one. It was a 2-2 draw last time these two sides faced last season, and I think it'll be the same result, but the scoreline will be a lot more boring. So yeah, I don't know, really, we need to turn something around at Preston, and I think the defence is still strong. I think it's just been tiredness of the defence that's, we've gone a whole long run of games trying really hard each game to keep this clean sheet, and we just let one slip against Birmingham. I think we'll be back to strength, but I don't think our attack will improve, so I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw in this one. And then next up is Cardiff City against Hull City. Both sides not on the greatest of form. Hull City have dropped since, the first games of the season after picking up quite a few defeats. Cardiff City did lose 2-0 to Millwall in their last game. I'm going to back them to bounce back, though. At the home stadium, I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 victory to the Bluebirds in this one. Next up is Coventry City against West Bromwich Albion. As I mentioned above, West Brom should have picked up all 3 points against Burnley, ended up in a 1-1 draw, but they were lucky to even come away with the point after they did get that very late equaliser in like the 8th minute of added extra time. But yeah, West Brom picking up quite a lot of draws, a bit like us at the moment, having all the chances and just not scoring. So yeah, West Brom, I definitely back them to pick up all 3 points in this one against the Coventry City side, who haven't really got started. I mean, I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to West Brom. I'm going to back both sides to score, but I know Coventry City have only got the 5 games where they've still got 3 games in hand, but you still expect there to be a victory there in somewhere. But yeah, I think Coventry City, they're in trouble at the moment, and something needs to change. So I'm going to go for a victory to West Bromwich Albion in this one. And then it's on to Loftus Road for Queen's Park Rangers against Huddersfield Town, where Huddersfield Town did get that 1-0 defeat to Blackpool, even though they did have the ball in the back of the net, so it should have been a 1-1 draw. And, even though it says on the table that Blackpool won that game, really, they drew. So, yeah, Huddersfield Town drew 1-1 in their last game to Blackpool. And then Queen's Park Rangers, bit of a, mixed starts really for Queen's Park Rangers. You've got all types of results in there with wins, draws, losses. They should win this one though, Queen's Park Rangers against Huddersfield Town. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to QPR in this one. And then it's Sheffield United against Rotherham United. Sheffield United, first place in the league, not a defeat yet. I don't think they'll lose this one either against Rotherham United, who, still pretty much going strong. The only defeat in there was the 3-0 defeat to Sunderland, but then they got a very good 1-1 draw against Watford in their last game. Against Sheffield United, though, I think it's going to be, I think it'll be too much for them. I'll back both sides to score, but I think Sheffield United will definitely show the quality in this game and just continue this amazing run that they've got going. And I'm going to go 3-1 to the Blades in this one. Maybe a bit too much, but they've got the quality to score the goals here. So, yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 to Sheffield United. And then next up is Stoke City against Luton Town. Stoke City have got a very good record against Luton Town, especially at home as well. But actually, Luton Town did win this fixture 2-1 last season. But of course, that's when Luton Town was on that amazing run and finished in the top 6 playoff spots last season. That's not looking likely this season. And although Stoke City have had a pretty poor start themselves, I am going to back the Potters to pick up all 3 points in this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to Stoke. And then next up is Sunderland against Millwall. As I said, Millwall picked up the 2-0 victory against Cardiff City in their last game, and Sunderland did lose 1-0 to Middlesbrough in their last game. This one's going to be a pretty tough one. I'm just going to go for a draw in this one. Back both sides to score them, both sides to pick up points, 1-1. It'll be very tough to go to the Stadium of Light this season, any team going there. But I just feel like Millwall are that team to go and pick up something, even though they haven't had the greatest of forms. I mean, they need to build on that Cardiff victory again, another team that hasn't been doing the greatest. Okay, next up, Watford against Reading, where Reading, no one expected them to be at this stage where they are. Me included, had them to go down as one of the teams to get relegated, and well, they've just absolutely proven me wrong, and probably quite a lot of you as well. Against Watford, who again tend to normally pick up draws nowadays, I'm going to back them to pick up a narrow 1-0 victory at Vicarage Road here, though. I think it'll be a bit too hard just for Reading to go here. Watford still got quality, still got some Premier League quality, but they're not really scoring that many. So I'll go narrow. I'll go 1-0 victory to Watford. And then we finish off with a big one. Wigan Athletic against Blackburn Rovers, where Wigan at the moment tending to pick up draws. Blackburn at the moment tending to pick up losses, but bit of a good Lancashire rivalry here, I would say, in this game. Not one of the main ones. And yeah, it's I'll back both sides to score in this one. Have to do that in these types of games. But I'm going to edge Blackburn Rovers to pick up a victory in this one. And although Wigan Athletic probably do have the form right now, and Blackburn Rovers need to start picking themselves up and going on a run themselves, as they did do at the start of the season. But then they picked up 3 losses after that, and then they did pick up a win. But then they did lose to Bristol City in their last game in a quite a big scoreline game, 3-2 victory to Bristol in that last game. But yeah, Blackburn Rovers, they can score the goals. They've shown they can score the goals. They've shown they can also concede the goals as well, especially to quite a lot of defeats. I think there was like a 3-0 loss to Reading in there, 3-0 to Sheffield United. So yeah, it's this one's a difficult one, and it won't surprise me really if Wigan Athletic actually do come away with all 3 points in this one. Really, anyone's game in this one, but I'll back Blackburn Rovers in this one to pick up all 3 points to finish off my Game Week 9 score predictions. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye.